Good morning, beloveds. Of the ultimate distraction. Foster has decided to come in and be clingy. Which he's not usually clingy. Well, he can be. He's just shy around people. So, all right. It is January 14th. Yes, it is January 14th. Our title is Today I Am Resolved to See Only the Good. Our first quote, He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death and break their bands in sunder. And that is Psalm 107:14. This sin is an obstruction in the heart, an inability to feel and comprehend all that is noble, true, and great, and to take part in the good. If man is to be free from sin, his mind and heart must be opened to the influence of enlightenment. And that is from the Talmud. In the world, there is nothing absolutely bad. No, moreover, evil is only relative. And that is the Masnavi 1 Masnavi. And that is Masnavi. All right. Oh, and he's biting. You cannot have my hand if you're going to bite. Yes, my cat bites the hand that feeds him. We all wish to be brought out of darkness into the light, to be free from the bondage of fear, superstition, and want. The mind must be riveted on freedom. The thought must rise transcendent over bondage. If we do this, then we are brought from the shadow of darkness into the light of glorious freedom of the children of God. The Talmud tells us that if we would be free from sin, mistake, the mind and heart must be open to enlightenment. Ignorance of the truth is the great sin or mistake from which spiritual enlightenment alone can give freedom. But what is spiritual enlightenment other than an increasing capacity consciously to become aware of the divine presence as peace, joy, and harmony? Our lesson tells us that evil is only relative. This is a blessed assurance that no matter what the so-called evil of limitation may look like, it is an effect blown across the pathway of our experience by ignorance. If we are to know the truth that makes us free, we must first recognize the essential non-reality of evil as being a thing within itself. We must equally know that the essential absolute reality of good, not only as the supreme beneficence, but as the absolute power. Therefore, today I am resolved to see only the good, and whenever evil is in the form of lack, fear, pain, or uncertainty presents itself, I shall endeavor to instantly recognize its native nothingness, to know that it is entirely relative. I shall make every effort to see through the limitation to what is boundless and free. I shall proclaim the glad tidings of the freedom of the kingdom of God in my experience and in the experience of everyone I contact. Today, I am resolved to see only the good. Well, yeah. And it does come down to ignorance. And ignorance is a choice. I think part of the root word of ignorance is ignoring. And it's ignoring the truth. We make mistakes all the time because we don't know. And when we make mistakes, then we do what Maya Angelou says is we did the best we could until we knew better. And then we did better. So when we make mistakes and we learn from our mistakes, we do better. If we choose not to learn from our mistakes, we choose to remain in ignorance, then we choose to continue to make mistakes. And then we wonder why our life looks the way it is. And so that's what he means by being open to enlightenment. And that's what he means by being open to the divine presence. Open to recognizing that God is everywhere, that Spirit is everywhere, that everything is Spirit, that everyone is a beloved child of God. That is what we are endeavoring to recognize, so that no matter what is happening around us, then we know that God is there, that we have access to all of the wisdom and the knowledge that we need to change the situation or to leave the situation. But one of the biggest things is to recognize that evil isn't a power in and of itself. It's a misuse. It's a misuse of the power. And if it is a misuse of the power, it can be stopped. We're not fighting a power. We're fighting ignorance. All right, so today I am resolved to see only the good. And the psalm quote is, He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death and break their bands in sunder. It's a little weird. So feel free to go look it up. 107:14. Ernest explains it. And then the Talmud, it's pretty clear. Sin is an obstruction in the heart, an inability to feel and comprehend that all is noble, true, and great, and to take part in the good. Sin is an unwillingness to take part in the good. If man is to be free from sin, his mind and heart must be open to the influence of enlightenment. All right, so that's from the Talmud. And then the last one, which I'm not sure what the Masnavi is, but in the world there is nothing absolutely bad. No, moreover, evil is only relative. It's a misuse. It's a misuse. Okay, so we all wish to be brought out of darkness into the light. Statement of fact. To be free from the bondage of fear, superstition, and want, the mind must be riveted on freedom. That's the goal. It's like, let's not look anywhere else but except at our freedom. The truth must arise transcendent over bondage. If we do this, then we are brought from the shadow of darkness into the light of glorious freedom of the children of God. Absolutely every one of us is a child of God. Therefore, every one of us can rise to that freedom by knowing who we are. And more importantly, we do want to know who we are, but we also want to recognize who each other is. How can I be free if I refuse to recognize you as a child of God? The Talmud tells us that if we would be free from sin, in parentheses, mistake, the mind and heart must be open to enlightenment, all right? Which is what I'm talking about. To the presence of Spirit, to the presence of God all around us and within us. Ignorance of the truth is the great sin or mistake from which spiritual enlightenment alone can give freedom. Because ignorance is a choice, spiritual enlightenment is a choice. It is a choice that we get to make, and we can make it every day. We can make it from moment to moment. But it would be helpful if we could make the choice and stick with it. But what is spiritual enlightenment other than an increasing capacity consciously to become aware of the divine presence as peace, joy, and harmony? So Ernest is telling us that what spiritual enlightenment is consciously increasing the capacity to feel the divine presence. That's the point of spiritual practice, people. Our lesson tells us that evil is only relative, so he's quoting back from the Masnavi. This is a blessed assurance that no matter what the so-called evil of limitation may look like, doesn't matter what it looks like, it is an effect. And if it is an effect, we can change it. The truth, blown across the pathway of our experience by ignorance. When we know better, we do better. If we are to know the truth that makes us free, we must first recognize the essential non-reality of evil as being a thing within itself. Okay, we must first recognize the essential non-reality of evil as a thing in and of itself. We must equally know that the essential absolute reality of good, That's why the title is I am resolved to see only the good. Because we are after the absolute essential reality, which is good, which is God, which is spirit, which is peace, which is joy, which is harmony. Not only as the supreme beneficence, but as the absolute power. Therefore, today I am resolved to see only the good, and whatever evil in the form of lack, fear, pain, and uncertainty presents itself, I shall endeavor to instantly recognize its native nothingness, to banish it back to the no thing that it is, to recognize that it is an effect and that I can affect the cause. It is not a power in and of itself. To know that it is entirely relative. I shall make every effort to see through this limitation to that which is boundless and free. I shall proclaim the glad tidings of the freedom of the kingdom of God in my experience and in the experience of everyone I contact. What I know for myself, I know for everyone. So why not proclaim the glad tidings of the kingdom of heaven for everyone? Because absolutely every living being has access to that kingdom. And that is why we practice every day. So the mission, should we choose to accept it, is that title. To be resolved to see only the good. To recognize that spiritual enlightenment is to be aware of the divine presence as peace, as love, as joy, as harmony. And to recognize that evil is, as he says, a native nothing. A native nothingness. It is merely an effect. And we can affect it. So, let's give up our ignorance and recognize the powerful, beloved children of God that we are. And one of the ways that we can do that is by practicing loving, kind, compassionate things on ourselves. And resolving to see one of the goods, to see only good, that is a loving, kind, and compassionate thing we can do every day. So when we walk into a situation, we recognize the good, no matter what's going on. Because if we can see the good, then we can grow the good. So please, I know I say it every day, and I tell you why every day. I want you to practice being loving, being kind, being compassionate on yourself. Because if you can do it for yourself, you can do it for anybody. Other people are easy. Doing it for ourselves is a little harder. When we do it for ourselves, we set that up as our first response. We create a default setting. We create a habit. We are kinder with ourselves. Our world works better. Everybody else's world works better. We make a better world. All right? That's why I suggest it every day. And I also tell you it can be a small thing, as small as 3 deep breaths, or as big as take a week off, or more time if you need that. It is about self-care. All right? I'm running a little short on time today, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick. Please do something to engage your mind and your body. Please go get a face full of sun this morning. Please drink plenty of water. And if you want to know, that is my way of saying I love you, I care about you. That's my thing. And then the quote that I borrowed for Ernest: open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us. And one of the easiest ways to find it is to do what Emma says, is to look for the good and praise it. It is about knowing who you are and knowing that you are a beloved child of God. All right? So, I'm going to tell you to have a great day, an amazing day, a wonderful day, an enchanting day. A wondrous day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. All right, beloveds? It is Friday. I have no idea what is going to happen tomorrow. The weather's going to be weird this weekend. So bundle up, be careful, stay warm. And I am planning to go to the park to throw peanuts to squirrels. But if it rains, maybe not. So I will see you around 9 a.m. Tomorrow. And I'll let you know whether I got to go to the park or not. And Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. All right, beloveds? You are loved. You are cared for. You are children of God. And you deserve your own loving, kind compassion. All right, beloveds? So take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.